Hi, so I'm Akshay. I run Proxima Mumbai with these guys. We are a super curated community for founders and builders based out of Mumbai. And we sort of just keep hosting events like these. One of our community members is Pratham, of course. So that's why we're hosting it for this event. Yeah.
I absolutely hate this guy. I hate these guys more, but like this is up there. तो मैं थोड़ा ज्ञान दूंगा. उसके बाद तुम लोग पूछना जो भी doubts है. But we'll keep it Hindi English. Is that fine? Like a mix, we'll keep it very casual. That's how I do most of my talks. So I mean, you guys know my name. I'm Pratham. I'm 21. I turned 21 on the 5th of July. So like what, 20 years ago. And I have been working since I was 16. So I got my first job in 2021, like towards the end of my 11th grade. And I always like loved working with computers, but मैंने अच्छे से coding चालू किया, like properly building applications and actually like doing things with code when COVID happened. That was around 10th grade. I taught myself Python, JavaScript, like web dev, ML, AI. I was dabbling in lots of things. And as I was doing that, I was posting about that on my Twitter, and because of that, I made lots of friends. I got lots of followers, and that was not the intention. I just wanted to be a part of a community where I could share my thoughts and my learnings. So just that kept happening, and because of building that audience, I was able to get this job at a place called Third Web. So it was a Web3 company. They're still like running, and I think at the time they raised $25 million. And like I was one of the very first employees there. Worked there for about 2 or 3 months, and then I had to like focus on my school. My dad didn't want me to do like a job at that point in time, so I left that. But I still kept like dabbling and like working and tinkering in Web3 projects. I got a grant from Polygon for building a project, and then I worked with Celestia. And when I was at Celestia, I got offered a job at Eclipse, and after Eclipse, I joined Movement. So I did all these things. And I think October of last year, I pretty much quit all the jobs I was doing, all the like consultancy projects or whatever. And since then, I've like kind of been unemployed. These guys call it retirement, but I've been unemployed. And right now, like I'm working with a few companies that I've invested in. I'm building a lot of tech, which we can also go in depth about. And sorry, louder. Yeah, so can you hear me fine? Yeah, so I have been working on a lot of these projects, and one of them is in the field of healthcare. I'm working on some defense projects. Also, like very interested in nuclear power. I think that's going to be like one of the big themes that like it's going to be one of the requirements that like India needs in the next 10 years or so. Like we have a growing population, like we have 1.4 billion people, and we need a lot of electricity and power to sustain all this population that we have. So nuclear is the cleanest, most efficient way to get energy. And defense is obviously important because we're surrounded by Pakistan, China, and like they pose a big threat. And as China gets more and more advanced, we also need to upgrade our defenses. So there's like a lot of really interesting deep engineering problems to solve there. Apart from that, I've been studying some AI stuff here and there. So my friend Akshay, who's playing Clash of Clans right now, I've been working on we were studying some ML papers yesterday. So like a bunch of these things are going on. And yeah, I think like I'm open to questions, and I can go more in depth about the healthcare company I'm working on as well. Answer questions about like the jobs I've done. I also forgot to mention, but I had a brief stint at this fintech company, which I went to Mexico for about 5 or 6 months ago. And that was at the company was called Mass. Didn't work out, but like still on very good terms with them. But it was a very interesting job experience. So I can tell you about Eclipse movement or like my job experiences, growing an audience, uh, any other things that might be helpful. And along the way, I'll keep adding like parts of the story that I have. So, questions, anyone?
How do you grow an audience?
So, I think like the best way to grow an audience is to never focus solely on growing an audience. Make sure कि तुम कुछ सीख रहे हो ना, or whatever you're doing, like try to like try to teach that to people in a very authentic way, like not from the perspective कि okay मैं ये पोस्ट डालेगा तो मेरे को इतने फॉलोअर्स आएंगे, इतना लाइक्स आएगा. Like, you should be more like, I learned this thing, I find it very interesting, तो मैंने भी इसको share किया, other people got to learn from it, and I also like improved my understanding of the particular topic. So I think when you do that, people will connect with you a lot easier, and you'll build a really good audience. That's the best way to do it.
To teach people the post.
That's like one way to go about it, but share something interesting. So that's the,
So it's
do
kind
it
of
in an
like building
interesting.
in public.
Kind of, yeah. They call it building a public. And like, are any of you guys doing internships? How many people are doing internships right now? How many people want to do internships? Like this year, a lot of people want to do internships. Okay, so do you get on-campus internship placements, or do you have to apply yourself?
Yes.
खुद से करना होता है? Okay, and what are you doing for it? Like, for example, are you preparing for your internships right now? So what are you doing to get there?
Currently, the client side with Amber University and deep diving into backend and stuff, Node.js, MongoDB. So,
Right, right. So I think like when you don't have experience, right, companies that typically hire you, like early stage startups will be really interested in hiring you because they are looking for young, energetic people who can come in and learn things as they go, and like be a part of the team, integrate like with whatever's going on. I think in the corporate environment it's different, but like uh, that's what I've noticed. So like what I was trying to say is, when you're applying for internships, try to work on things that solve real problems. So, for example, like right now, I'm running this healthcare company. It's called LabBridge, and they do blood tests, like how Metropolis or Tata 1mg does blood tests. LabBridge also does blood tests, and they do blood tests for like B2B clients. They don't do it. They won't come to your house and take your blood. They'll do it for blood collection centers, clinics, hospitals, and they're mostly targeting like the tier two cities where there is like that class of population. So the top 5% of Indians, like the richest people, they go to metropolis and all these places. The rest of the 95%, they go to clinics and blood collection centers. So LabRage will take those samples, they will do the blood tests, and they will like send out the results. So like when I'm hiring there, one of the main focuses that we keep is like, it's a small team, but we want to hire for high agency, meaning like, okay, I tell you to do something, you work with me, you ask me questions, that's fine, but like you try to get the thing done as soon as possible, and you're constantly working on the problem. So agency is very important. Then it's also important that you have a problem solving mindset. Like, why will a company hire you? At the end of the day, the company has to build something, they have to make a profit. They like, that is how the world works right now. So you should be focused on solving problems for your team. Like make sure that, let's say if there's an inefficiency in a process, like ठीक है, जैसे कि एवरी मॉर्निंग, मतलब लोग जब एंटर करते हैं ऑफिस में, दे trying to think of a random example, but वो पेपर पर उन्हें टिक मार्क करना होता है अटेंडेंस के लिए. Instead, like maybe if you make an app that, or maybe some sort of scanner that like you just show your face or you put a fingerprint, it's much easier for them to mark the attendance. So that saves them like a lot of time. So like you can identify problems like these in like companies and solve them. That is the best way to get internships and jobs. And like even when you go for a full job, if you show that you solve problems at a company, that then they will really be keen to hire you. So that will put you apart from the rest of the people. Like if you make a simple Netflix clone or WhatsApp clone, everyone's doing that. If you want to stand out, like focus on solving problems and making the life of the company easier. So just some advice there on internships.
how do you get into Web3?
Okay, so I think like there are like multiple ways to get into Web3. Like you can either go from the perspective of a protocol engineer, or you can go from the perspective of an app developer. So let's say अभी मैं let's say I'm एक रेगुलर एग्जांपल लेता हूँ, क्लैश ऑफ क्लैंस से लेना, मुझे क्लैश ऑफ क्लैंस बनाना, मुझे गेम बनाना, ठीक है. सो मतलब तुम्हें गेम डेव में इंटरेस्ट है, सो यू कैन डू टू थिंग्स. यू कैन मेक द गेम इंजन जिससे गेम्स बनते हैं, और you can make the game itself. The similar, like you have a similar thing in crypto and blockchains. You can either work on the core cryptography protocols or like the blockchain protocols, or you can work on applications that work on top of a blockchain. So both have different parts. So if you're looking to work on the application layer of blockchains, like you want to build DeFi applications or things like that, then you should learn, I think, go for Solidity, one good language, do TypeScript, JavaScript, and learn a bit of front end, do React, Next.js. That is enough. Like you can get started and then you can keep learning more and more things as you go. You'll learn about wallets and like all the different security measures, how to deploy smart contracts and everything. So that's on the application development side. If you want to work on the core protocol, generally most of this is in Golang, if you've heard of Go, or it's in Rust. So Solana is written in Rust, Ethereum is written in Go. Those are the main like languages that you have to learn, and then you can like dive deeper into it. So in Rust, like make sure you know your like asynchronous, like with Tokyo, or like you know how to use databases like RocksDB. A lot of these blockchains they use that for like internal state management. So just like pick what you want to do, whether you want to build applications on a blockchain or you want to build the blockchain itself, and then like learn the stack accordingly, and then keep exploring, ask ChatGPT questions. You can, there's lots of good Twitter accounts to follow, watch YouTube videos, and you'll get the hang of it. And a lot of these companies, they're giving like really big grants. Like for example, Akshay, he won a very big hackathon. He won $6,000. So that's like 5 lakh rupees for what, a week's worth of work, pretty much, give or take. Yeah. So there are like lots of opportunities in crypto where you can like participate in hackathons, get experience, and also get paid for it. So like if you want to like make money and also get good experience, I think doing hackathons in Web3 is a good idea. So like I said.
Continuing on Web3. So 2 3 years back, blockchain and Web3 was everywhere. Like there were these huge promises, but now we like rarely hear about it. So as an insider, why do you think that is?
So I will be honest, like your goal as students is to get experience and you want to get paid, right? तो उस सेंस से लाइक क्रिप्टो ब्लॉकचेन में सबसे ज्यादा फंडिंग है बिकॉज ऑफ स्पेकुलेशन, tokens go up, and like these companies get really rich, they have big treasuries, so they can spend on a lot of resources on just acquiring developers and getting talent. That's why they can pay so well. So you should like do these things, and like because it's beneficial, you'll get experience, you'll get money. The other thing is there are like interesting problems to solve here, like DeFi. I find personally interesting. I find prediction markets really interesting. Stable coins are also good. But honestly, other than that, most of crypto blockchain is kind of a fugazi. Like most of it is fake promises. Like you saw NFTs. Like 4 साल पहले आया था, अभी किसी को याद भी नहीं है. And the meme coins, like it's just like Ponzi, it's gambling. So there are like pockets of Web3 that I like, but most of it is not the biggest fan. So, but like for you as a student, your job is to get experience as an engineer, and if you can get paid for it, that's amazing. But other than that, like enjoy it while it lasts. I mean, I think like we have like another 2 years before these companies start running out of money. But right now, they're giving like good grants, they're giving good like hackathon prizes. Also, don't record this part, cut this one. But this is like special info for all of you. Because I've worked at like 3 or 4 blockchain companies, and I know friends that also work at these companies. See, like, why does Uber or Airbnb exist right now? Because they make money. It's a company with fundamentals. Like Uber, they have all these cabs around the world, and they're making revenue from that. Airbnb, same thing. Like they're making fees from all the people that are booking apartments. Um, like I don't know, take Infosys or Tata, TCS. Like they're making money. It's an actual business. In crypto, most of these protocols they don't make any money. They make like $500 a year. Meanwhile, they're raising like $500 million, like because they're the next big thing or whatever. So like again, like there's no real value here apart from the Ponzi gambling. It's mostly just like fake promises and like hey, I should do it, but like तुम अपना benefit देखो, do your hackathons, get your grants, like get your experience, and there are cool engineering problems. That's all I'll say. But like politically, well, crypto is just very weird. There's like lots of shady things happening, and I've seen it firsthand. I think that's why I left Eclipse and Movement. So, like, yeah, and there's like one person there who works at Movement. So, and he's busy playing Clash Royale. So, like, like yeah, just like तुम अपना experience लो, get your grants and get on.
What do you think the future of crypto is after 2 years, and how will stablecoins sort of, evolve in that place? Like,
I think like stable coins are like the only business in crypto that's like actually that has shown growth over the last 4 years. Like I think Circle, it is this company that issues stable coins. Have you heard of USDC by any chance? Yeah, so USDC is issued by Circle. I think they doubled or tripled like their revenue because they doubled or tripled the amount of tokens that they minted. Uh, that is like stablecoins are really cool, and I think the regulation around stablecoins is also getting nice. Other than that, like I mentioned, DeFi has some interesting things going on. Prediction markets, we saw Polymarket predict the US election. That was good. So like, and Bitcoin, like I think it's the only cryptocurrency that honestly really matters, apart from a few others. But like Bitcoin has proven that it is the king. It is the best coin there is. So these 4 or 5 things are what I'm interested in. I think like stable coins just continue to grow in adoption. I think at some point they might replace like some of the legacy banking systems that we have in place. A lot of companies will adopt stable coins for transfers. They'll use it for keep maintaining their treasury. Instead of keeping cash, they'll keep US dollars on chain, which is like stable coins. So
so what constitutes a stablecoin?
स्टेबल कॉइन इज बेसिकली अ कॉइन दैट्स स्टेबल जैसे कि अभी तुम्हारे पास 1 रुपया है इट विल बी 1 रुपी इट विल नॉट सडनली बिकम हाफ अ रुपी और वट एवर a stable coin is that it's like a dollar but on a blockchain. Like you buy Bitcoin can go up and down in value. You buy a US dollar on chain, it won't go up and down. It will stay at $1. That is the point of a stable coin. So it removes the volatility aspect from a blockchain, like and cryptocurrencies. So if let's say you want to send money from here to Africa, let's say you're sending Bitcoin and like you send it 30 days later, it goes down by 5%. So that's not stable, right? That's why you sell stable coins instead. So that's a stable coin. And there are different types of stable coin. Like I mean, just for simplifying, I put a very basic definition here. You can also have stable coins that adjust their rate according to the inflation that there is. So, and there's like ways in which stable coins work, but that's a topic for another day.
If you're starting again, will you choose blockchain or what will you look into? If you're starting again from scratch.
Honestly, if I was to start today, like I would make sure my like fundamentals are solid. Like, see, at the end of the day, a blockchain is just there's a running joke that it's just a database, and it is. So like you can like just focus on the core engineering aspects. It's a database that has some aspects to it. It's immutable. It's decentralized. There's some networking going on between the nodes. Focus on those problems, and then you can apply this in a lot of places. You can apply this in web dev. You can apply this in AI ML stuff also. Like let's say you're doing ML ops, or like you want to deploy models. You can like that experience will help you there as well. So just focus on the core engineering aspects. Then you can do Web3. You can do like ML. You can do whatever. But like just have the mindset that you're there to solve problems, and like you just keep learning. So in that way, like you'll get to know. But like if I was starting today, right this moment, um again, like I would make sure my engineering fundamentals are solid, and then I would like dabble in crypto and Web3, like some of the things I find interesting, like DeFi, do that. But like most of my time and energy would go into like I think AI is what interests me more right now. So yeah, I think that's what I would do. And like web dev, basic web dev is very easy to learn. You have ChatGPT and like V0 and all these tools, so you can do that pretty easily too. So like just have a basic understanding of everything, but specialize in a few things. So
So you were saying about nuclear energy or something?
yes.
So what exactly it is?
So like right now, the Indian government wants like I think 25 gigawatts or something like that, some number. They want that much energy to be produced by nuclear, because right now how energy is produced like using coal plants or maybe solar, maybe wind, but that's a very small percentage. Most of the energy comes from like these coal plants, which make a lot of like greenhouse gases. That's not good for the environment. So I've been like looking into like nuclear energy and how nuclear power plants work, how we're going to build that in India, like the software that's required there, and that's what I've been looking into mainly. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about the decentralization in other fields?
So we have seen that Web3 in finance for decentralization to keep transparency. But where do you think Web3 will actually be useful? Because on paper, everyone wants to do Web3 and everything. Instagram is Web3 and making Instagram decentralized. But we know it's a bad model because no one wants, like, I think it's a bad model to make Instagram
Yeah, agreed. So like, I think main देखो डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन कहाँ पे हेल्पफुल होता है डिसेंट्रलाइज फाइनेंस बिकॉज आज जो बैंक है तुम्हारा दैट हैज अ से इन like what it can do with your account. Like let's say I want to, I don't know, I want to buy this TV, but मेरा card account block कर दिया because of XYZ reason. They have complete authority over that. They can do it whenever. Let's say you have like some like politician का लफड़ा हो गया, उसने मतलब बैंक को जाके बोला कि इसका मतलब अकाउंट बंद करवा दे or whatever, and they can do it. In decentralized finance, like because it's decentralized, no one can just shut you down. That's like a it's like a very good benefit. And you can also transact freely. It gives you freedom. So like in finance, it makes sense. Social media is a really like lame use case in my opinion. क्योंकि तुम Instagram क्यों use करते हो? Because एक तो अच्छा imagine you had to pay to use Instagram. Would you use Instagram? No, it's free. That's why you use it. And most people cannot afford to pay for Instagram. Like if you have decentralized Instagram, to make a post every time you have to pay. Like that's stupid. Also, there's no benefit to decentralizing Instagram. Like you need moderation on a platform like Instagram because you don't want bad content, right? Like that might go against the rules. Like let's say ISIS video डाल रहा है Instagram पे, मतलब वो dance कर रहा है, मतलब अपना प्रचार कर रहा है. Obviously, that's not right. So you want a central authority in that case to like come in and be like ये सही नहीं है. So it defeats the purpose of decentralizing the social media. Other things I would try decentralize AI. I think that's bullshit as well because AI requires so much compute. Like when you decentralize, वो compute टूटते जाता है ना. Like it's separated. So there's a lot of latency that's added. It's really hard. Like you should almost never build a decentralized system. You should always start with a centralized system and decentralize only when you really need to. तो मतलब अभी अब तुम AI डिसेंट्रलाइज करने जाओगे, तुम्हें ट्रेनिंग में जो 10 दिन लगता था 100 साल लगेंगे. It makes no sense. So most of these decentralization things are a fugazi. Finance makes sense mainly. फिर तुम्हारा I guess जो blockchains decentralized है, Bitcoin वो सब, their decentralization is necessary. But other places it's kind of useless.
If it is only applicable to few fields, then what will be of the Bitcoin and everything? Because like crypto won't be applicable everywhere, right? It will be applicable to few issues. So
तो मेन तो अभी क्रिप्टो इज डेफिनेटली शोन दैट इट इज अ वेरी गुड स्पेकुलेशन टूल. मतलब आज मुझे सट्टाबाजी करनी है तो मैं जाके क्रिप्टो में मस्त सट्टाबाजी कर सकता हूँ. That's one very good application of crypto, and that's fine. It's a good casino. Other than that, we've seen good adoption with stablecoins. I think this is one of the more non-speculative parts of crypto. Like, I want to send money to someone in Turkey. I can just use, like, I click the app on my phone, send karo, I put their wallet address. Less than 5 seconds, it's gone. Instant. You were to do that through a bank, it would take like, I don't know, 2-3 days. कहीं पे रुक गया पैसा, पता नहीं, it routes through multiple banks. It's a very rudimentary system. So crypto there makes sense. Other than that, Bitcoin as a store of value has shown promise. Like a lot of banks and companies and nations are adopting Bitcoin. So that's good. Other than that, DeFi is interesting to me. Like let's say today you want a loan, you don't have a certain credit rating, you won't get a loan. On a blockchain, you can simply like go to an app, be like, मैं ये कोलैटरल रख रहा हूँ, मुझे ये पैसा चाहिए, तो मैं मिल जाएंगे, no questions asked. So it's a very fair system that way. Obviously, it has its caveats, like you want to avoid money laundering and things like that, and there are ways to do that as well. But like, I think these parts of crypto are nice. Like DeFi बोला मैंने, Bitcoin बोला, stablecoin बोला, फिर तुम prediction markets भी ले लो. Like you need decentralization there because when, let's say, प्रिडिक्शन मार्केट्स में तुम्हें अभी एक बेट तुमने किया कि मतलब ठीक है प्रथम लेट आएगा या नहीं आएगा इवेंट पे. सो यू कैन बेट यस और नो एंड यू कैन लाइक इफ यू राइट, इफ यू प्रिडिक्ट नो कि प्रथम जल्दी आएगा तो तुम पैसा लूज करोगे बिकॉज मैं लेट आया. तुम यस करोगे तो तुम पैसा बनाओगे. सो टू सेटल दैट बेट यू नीड लाइक अ ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल टू कम एट कंसेंसस, मतलब कम एट एन अग्रीमेंट कि अच्छा ये ट्रुथ है, ये हुआ. तो वो yes or no के लिए like getting the outcome on chain like is done through something called an oracle, but like getting that done you need like consensus amongst the committee, and that's why you need decentralization. So that is one case where it makes sense. So these are the places where decentralization actually makes sense.
Stablecoin is basically replacing US coins, but what are faster in that process.
Yes.
And for Bitcoin, it is treated something like gold or silver. But then this
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And stablecoins का एक और benefit मैं ये बोलूँगा कि let's say I have rupees right now and I want to convert it to US dollars. मेरे कंपनी का cash पड़ा है जिसे US डॉलर में डालना और उस पर interest कमाना. Today doing that is insanely hard. Like you have to set up like an entity in the US, send the money, उसमें accounting का पता नहीं क्या क्या लगेगा. I mean you still have to do accounting in crypto also, but in crypto you do a one-click transaction where it's like rupee to US dollars. US dollars को तुमने डाला in like some sort of like liquidity pool where you can get interest on it, and it's easy. It's as quick as that. So simple.
crypto it replaces real money. And the main concept was because it is portable and everything. It was meant to replace currency, right?
Yeah, it was. I think there are like two types of people. जब Bitcoin चालू हुआ 2008 में, no one cared about it. But around 2011, what happened is some people wanted Bitcoin to be like gold. Like it should be rare. It should not be used as currency. अच्छा आज मैं तुझसे कांदा लेने आऊँ तो मैं क्या तुझे गोल्ड दूंगा? नहीं ना. Like I won't give you this ring and be like भाई मुझे कांदा दे. That's not true. You will give rupees. Some people wanted Bitcoin to be cash, like rupees or dollars. So what happened is Bitcoin chalu hua. There were these like two thoughts. The core Bitcoin community sticked to the concept of Bitcoin being gold. वो rare होना चाहिए, वो ऐसे transfer के लिए नहीं बना. And some people wanted it to be cash. So what they did is they made a clone of Bitcoin, forked Bitcoin, and they called it Bitcoin Cash. That's a real thing, by the way. So Bitcoin Cash is like Bitcoin, but you can use it for transactions. But like not really. But there's some like details that we can go into there, but it never really worked out. But it was trying to be cash. फिर Bitcoin का एक और version भी आया था, एक और fork आया था, called Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. That was supposed to be like Bitcoin, but even more like gold. Like it was so rare कि मतलब, if I'm not wrong, like it was just supposed to be kept in cold storage, and when if you wanted to transact it, the fees were a lot higher or something like that. Or I might be wrong on this, but like there were folks created of Bitcoin, so there have been arguments in the community. Similarly, even Ethereum had like a fork. So Ethereum mainnet है भी तुम्हारा एक Ethereum classic है. So these like when communities disagree in crypto, they make forks of the blockchain. Like they just like okay, like because blockchains are community run. If the community is divided, they can just like choose to run the blockchain on their own, like and go their separate way. So that is a very common thing that happens. So.
What do you think about the future of MCPs? Do you think that hype is going anywhere, or do you think it's just a gimmick?
I think MCPs are cool. Like main.
First explain like what an MCP is.
ठीक है, MCP क्या है? देखो अभी तुम मुझसे who is studying physics? You are studying physics? हाँ तो ठीक है. मैं तुमसे पूछूं tell me like okay you're not studying history right? So I'll ask you about World War One. Will you be able to answer? Probably not unless स्कूल में पढ़ा है. तो तुम्हारे पास कॉन्टेक्स्ट नहीं है. तो अभी जो हमारे LLMs है उनके पास भी कॉन्टेक्स्ट का दिक्कत है. लेट्स से अब मैं पूछूं I go to ChatGPT and I ask what's in front of me. Okay, it does not have access to my camera, so it doesn't know what's going on. तो कॉन्टेक्स्ट का इशू है. तो LLMs को तुम्हें कॉन्टेक्स्ट देना होगा ना, बोलना होगा कि अच्छा ये देखो या यहाँ से मतलब इंफॉर्मेशन उठाओ, ये करो वो करो. सो देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड अ मॉडल कॉन्टेक्स्ट प्रोवाइडर. इट इज अ प्रोटोकॉल कि वो AI मॉडल को it'll give you the context. Let's say I make an MCP that gives my gives the LLM access to my camera. So then what it can do is I ask, okay, take a photo. I just tell that to ChatGPT. Since I've given it access to my camera, it will use that function, open my camera, take a photo, and it can tell me what's going on. Similarly, you can use MCP to integrate a lot of other things. So let's say you want तुम्हारा ChatGPT या डेस्कटॉप पे तुम्हें चाहिए कि वो म्यूजिक बनाए, and there is an app called Ableton. ठीक है. So there's an Ableton MCP. Think of it as a, for like simplicity sake, let's call it a plugin. एक plugin है जो मतलब Ableton और तुम्हारा ChatGPT को connect करता है साथ में. So that is an MCP server, that plugin that glues them together. So then ChatGPT, you can like tell ChatGPT to make music and it can see the controls that are in Ableton. कि मतलब अच्छा ये volume dial है, ये मतलब कुछ तो knob है, जो भी है. You can add sound. This is the soundtrack. It can see those things. It gives context to the LLM. So that is what MCP is about. And I think it's really cool because अभी LLMs का main तो वही तो problem है, context नहीं है. मतलब तुम ChatGPT को जाके बोलो कि code लिख दे किसी चीज का, लेकिन लेट्स से उसको जीसीपी से डेटा उठाना, लेकिन उसको जीसीपी को एक्सेस ही नहीं है, सो इट विल like make a error there. It will like go completely crazy. Like it will probably give you wrong code, not in the direction that you're thinking of. Like giving your model as much context as possible is great. So that's why I think MCPs are cool. It is one protocol that has come up, that has come up, and there's A2A also. Google is working on their own protocol, but MCPs are the most popular, and you can connect MCPs inside of Cursor also. So you can give your like coding editor access to your web browser or like lots of other things. So you can do like pretty much everything with it. So it's really cool. But still, abhi, matlab, it depends on how well you make this plugin, this MCP server, कि मतलब model उसके ऊपर कितना अच्छा perform कर सकता है. So MCPs are cool. I think it's just one approach. We'll see how A2A does. But अभी के लिए तो सही है. I like it.
What are certain decentralized companies you're bullish about? Most of, as I said, most of the decentralized Instagram and all that sounds like it can be.
Right. So Polymarket is cool. Like prediction market's really nice. Then DeFi mein, there's like lots of companies, but there's this company called Lombard. They're doing yield on top of Bitcoin. So you can store your Bitcoin and you can get yield, like interest on it. Typically you cannot do that, but Lombard has made a protocol to do that. So I think that will be very important for all these institutions that are now holding like large amounts of Bitcoin. So I think that is cool. Then I think there's this decentralized exchange. It's called Hyperliquid. I've been studying that since 2023. I think Hyperliquid is really cool. They are doing 600. They're like one of the few protocols in crypto that actually do revenue. Like they do $600 million a year. So good like projects. Other than that, there's some things on Bitcoin that are interesting. There's like Taproot Wizards. It's like a protocol on top of Bitcoin. They're trying to add an execution there. I think that can be interesting, but it's still too early to say. But these are the like places I like right now. Yeah.
The first job interview says right now today's job interview for Web3 job. What would be like how it someone can crack a job in a Web3 right now?
So in so I think the easiest way to get into Web3 is do hackathons. Like how Akshay did a hackathon. These are generally very easy to crack, and they're easy to crack if you know what you're doing, obviously. But it's not that hard. Like you learn Solidity, learn TypeScript, JavaScript, do web dev. Once those fundamentals are clear, you can create any apps that you like. And most of these hackathons are for like Web3 apps only. So you do that, and then like you do hackathons, you'll be parts of like you go into communities, you go for events, you'll meet people there, you'll get experience, share your work on Twitter, interact with other people. That way you'll like people will know you in the community. So like let's say when you go to a company and be like, hey, I've solved these problems, I've done this hackathon, I know Solidity, I know TypeScript, I have this much experience, can you hire me? And there will be a lot more just confident in hiring you over other candidates. I think that's the best way to
So
go.
there is no job like DSA or any other criteria for interview.
If you're going for a very core engineering job, maybe they might ask for DSA. But like I think most crypto companies just care if you can solve problems or not. Like I have not even made a resume till date. Like most of the jobs I've gotten is just like I'm like talking to a friend and I'm like, okay, cool, let's work together. I just get a job. I don't call it a job, but like I just want to work on interesting projects. I think that's the mindset you should have. Like focus on solving problems. DSA is cool. It helps you like solve problems better and I guess fun also. But like mainly just focus on building projects, doing like useful things. So don't just do lead code. Like do other things.
But KSA has more future like this, and whereas AI is taking more of jobs and the blockchain is booming. But KSA has more future.
DSA absolutely has a future because it's like a good like test to see if you can solve problems or not. See, main problem is problem solving. Whether you do it through DSA, whether you solve projects or do whatever, that's your choice. But just solve problems. That's what I'm trying to get at. And like yeah, DSA has a future. And honestly, I think a lot of people are like amazed by AI, like oh, such great code. But honestly, in my experience, like it's been very okay. Like LLMs are not taking your job anytime soon. You know who will take your job? Like some other person who's using LLMs and they have experience, so they can get the job done even faster. Those are the people you're competing against. You're not competing against just AI. I think like some jobs, like very basic front end stuff can be fully automated, but like if you're actually building systems at scale, it's really hard to use AI to do anything useful. Honestly, like you need to like do it yourself, and that's like something I've learned by like building the company that I'm like doing right now, the LabRich, the healthcare company. Like when you're building software at scale, you have to put your own brain and thought and effort into it, and like AI can just help you fill in the blanks, but it's not going to take your job. So yeah.
Like while solving a problem, maybe in code or in real life. So if you got stuck, what is the approach to overcome that, to tackle that?
I think the very first thing I do is like I'll read the error, right? I'll go to the file, see what's going on. तब भी नहीं समझ आया, then I'll probably go to Google, Stack Overflow, or ChatGPT. Right? They'll give you some clue as to what's going on. When you put it in Google, it's likely that some other person has the same issue and they posted it on GitHub. Then if that also doesn't work, my next line of attack will be that I'll post it on GitHub. Like, okay, let's say you're working with Puppeteer or Playwright or whatever. You go to Puppeteer's GitHub, you go in the issues tab, you make an issue कि ठीक है मेरा Windows चल रहा है, npm node version 18 है, ये issue आया मेरे को help करो. So people will come and help you most likely. That's one way to go about it. And Twitter maybe you can ask questions. But like first try solving it yourself and then like ask for help. So that's how I go about it.
So you don't get frustrated by getting into bugs and all.
I mean, honestly, that's where LLMs are helpful. Like bugs में, I think 80% time clear कर देता है, but then it introduces new bugs that you have to go and fix. So like frustrate होता है, but like अब ठीक है कर लेता है. Mostly I get frustrated when I'm working on legacy software.
How did you crack a package of 2.5 CR and how did you learn
2.5 CR. अरे 2.5 था क्या?
And how did you learn programming?
2.5 का तो नहीं पता, but like anyway, like, how did I crack the package? Mainly, I think it was my audience. I had lots of followers on Twitter. Like that was like a status, I guess, signal कि मतलब okay, I know what I'm doing. But I will say like don't judge someone based on the followers. Like follow their work and what they do. Like लोग देखते हैं बहुत follower है, they must be really smart. And I've met a lot of people that have like tens of thousands of followers, and they're just like not the most pleasant people to work with. But anyway, what I was saying is कि whenever I like why I joined Eclipse is because how I got that offer is because I was at Celestia. So Celestia mein they saw I was solving problems and I was working on interesting things, and I made a Twitter thread where I basically talked about like what the things I was working on at Celestia and how I found Eclipse interesting, and I like tagged them in a post, and that's how they got to know about me and they messaged me. So like when you put yourself out there, people get to know you. You share the things that you're doing. That's when you get a lot of visibility, and that's where companies will be like, okay, this person seems interested in our company and the problem we're solving. Let's see if they want to work with us. I think that's how they look at it. And I was also interested in Eclipse. Like I really wanted to be a part of the Solana ecosystem, and I wanted to learn Rust and like, build those things. So I was able to get that experience. I learned how to work in a team and communicate and all these different things. So mainly it's just like show interest in the companies, like actual interest. But दिखाओ कि तुम्हें करना है कुछ, and I think companies will be more than happy to get you on board, and like they'll support you and everything. So,
What problem are you experiencing nowadays that you feel someone should solve this or at least make it efficient?
very good question. So I'm working on the healthcare startup now, and I'm hiring for that. So main issues that I'm focusing on there is that it's a very fresh team. So the people that were running this company, right? Like, and I'm other like investors as well in this. So like basically the founders, like they are not the most technical people. So like they understand what an API is, they understand front end, back end, but if you ask them what Terraform is, उनको probably नहीं समझ आएगा, या फिर DevOps, Docker ये सब बोलोगे तो उनको नहीं आएगा. तो अभी क्या है कि थोड़ा सा structure नहीं था at this company. So we're building a team from scratch. There are already like 3 engineers that we have, and we're putting the structure so that we can build. We're building a newer software to like replace the legacy software that there is right now. So I was explaining the healthcare mein, abhi bhi there are places that use like 15-year-old PHP code bases and passwords are stored in plain text. Like बहुत सारे security issues है, बहुत सारा कचरा पट्टी है. I'm building something from scratch that's like a much better software than what exists in the industry right now. That's the problem I'm trying to solve there. And the main दिक्कत वहाँ पे क्या आ रही है ना कि there's lots of like small things that you need to know about these blood testing machines, the context that is required, the field experience that you have to go there and see how the process works, machine से क्या data आ रहा है, क्या data भेजना है, error आ रहा है, नहीं आ रहा है. Main दिक्कत वहीं पे आ रही है. Like we have to do like lots of like on field testing and things like that. उसके बाद software बनाना. And since we're also working with so much legacy code and legacy machines, we have to make sure that the libraries that we're building abstract that away in some sense. कि मतलब वो legacy है तो legacy रहे, but like the wrapper on top like modernizes it for us so that we can use it in web services, like the data that's coming out of these blood test machines. So that is like the problem statement. It's more like just think of it as a legacy migration. So हाँ, और कॉन्टेक्स्ट का दिक्कत है बिकॉज मेडिकल इसमें बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं. मतलब जैसे कि तुम अभी ब्लड टेस्ट करने जाओ तो 50 तरह के ब्लड टेस्ट हैं. And then there might be a blood test just for your iron deficiencies. There might be a blood test for your vitamins. उसका डेटा कैसे आता है? उसका डेटा, is it sanitized? Is the data in the proper structure? So like that context, that like industry experience, I guess that is lacking. And I'm looking for people that can help me like work on that and actually go to these centers, see ki code chal raha nahi chal raha, and then we build a solution. So that's the main thing.
So right now, how it is working the blood test industry? So they used to do manually.
Yeah. So how, if you go to Apollo Hospitals, it's the biggest hospital chain in all of India. I think like at least by market cap, it's like for rich people, right? So वहाँ पे उनका जो software है, there's like one company that makes it, and there's something called a LIMS, Lab Information Management Software. तो ये जो software है, it's one company that provides it, and it's like very mint. और उसमें मतलब ज़्यादा फीचर्स नहीं है. इट्स वेरी बेसिक सा, मतलब तुम यूज़ करोगे तो बहुत बोरिंग सा है. आई मीन दैट्स फाइन, एटलीस्ट इट्स फंक्शनल, बट वी वांट अ लॉट मोर. लाइक लेट्स से इफ डॉक्टर्स हैड एक्सेस टू लाइक द हिस्ट्री ऑफ अ पेशेंट फ्रॉम द ब्लड टेस्ट लाइक डायरेक्टली, लाइक वो सिस्टम ऑलरेडी बिल्ट है इन प्लेस, देन दैट वुड बी अमेजिंग, राइट? अभी भी वो है, बट लाइक इट्स जस्ट नॉट कनेक्टेड प्रॉपर्ली, सो लॉट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट गेट्स मिस्ड. एंड देन अभी मैं लैबरेज का एग्जांपल दूं तो कैसे काम करते हैं कि तुम्हारे क्लिनिक्स होकर ब्लड टेस्ट सेंटर का, वहाँ पे तुम्हारा टेस्ट ट्यूब होता है जिसमें ब्लड होता है, उस पर एक बारकोड होता है, वो ट्रांसपोर्ट करके कोई लाता है लैब पे, एंड फिर उसका स्कैन करते हैं, देन दे पुट इट इनसाइड ऑफ मशीन्स, एंड मशीन्स के अंदर भी एक कैमरा होता है दैट कैन स्कैन द बारकोड एंड दे कैन लाइक पुट द रिजल्ट्स ऑन टू अ कंप्यूटर. सो ईच मशीन हैज इट्स कंप्यूटर, विंडोज कंप्यूटर है, उस पर डेटा जाता है. तो अभी दिक्कत क्या आती है कि कभी सैंपल खराब हो गया, लॉजिस्टिक्स में दिक्कत आई, कभी वो स्कूटर से ला रहा है, स्कूटर का टायर फट गया, इसका ट्रैकिंग है ही नहीं. यू नेवर नो व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन, सो लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स द थिंग्स कैन गेट मिसप्लेस्ड. फिर तुम्हारे लैब के अंदर ही कुछ मिसप्लेसमेंट्स हो सकती है. देन देयर आर अदर थिंग्स कि मतलब लेट्स से यू नीड अ लॉट ऑफ इक्विपमेंट टू डू दीस टेस्ट, राइट? तो इक्विपमेंट बदलता रहता है हर महीने, लाइक तुम्हें लाना होता है इफ इट गेट्स यूज्ड. So you have to place orders for that. So there needs to be tracking for that also, inventory management. So like that is like the general flow and general issues that you face in this industry right now. So we're building a solution to fix all of that. And be like, again, like I told you, there's only like 1 or 2 companies that do it, and they do it really mediocre. It's not that great. So yeah, trying to upgrade that. So, yeah.
How did you decide that you don't want to continue with a degree or studying after 12th and just start building and going?
So I wanted to drop out since 10th grade only, but my parents were against it, and for fair reasons. But I think like when I took the step that I like we can skip this is जब मुझे offer मिला Eclipse से. So it gave some sense of security to my parents that okay, I know what I'm doing. and I have something in hand. And I like how I pitch it to them is that I have a proper plan. Like I'll do this job, I'll see how it goes. Sorry, I'll see how it goes for the next 6 months. And I wasn't going to like go to college for the next 6 months anyway. Like my job was sorry, my if I were to go to college, it was after those 6 months. So I was like, I'll do it for 6 months, and then we'll see how it goes. And I ended up just working. And then I told them, okay, I'll take another gap year. I'll see what happens. And if I want to go to college, that option is still there for me. Like I can uh, like apply again, or I can like there are ways that you can go to college. So I gave them a proper backup plan that if I want to study, I can still do it. So let me explore now, and that's how I do the like. That's how I manage my own things. And I showed them results. I showed them that I can like I'm actually capable of doing these things. So that's when they had more trust in me, and that's when I was able to like take the leap and not do like not pursue education. So like yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah.
Is getting into industry early a good thing, or like does it distract you from the core fundamental study? Like we obviously know all the pros, uh, but what are the cons?
I think the cons is that time management can be really hard if you're a college student, right? Like you're doing all these courses, you want to focus on that, and also you want to have fun in college. Like you want to party, you want to do other things. Like managing all of that with while being in the industry can be hard. But I think it's really good. You're getting experience, and in fact, like the fundamentals that you're talking about, you learn that even faster just by applying it. So it is absolutely important that you get like experience. So like there's no problem in doing it. Just manage your time efficiently. And it should be doable. Personally, I'm really bad at like managing time. Like if I'm doing one thing, I'll only do that particular thing. Like when I was in school, I just wanted to like work on these projects. I wanted to explore Web3. I wanted to learn about AI. That's all I wanted to do. I really didn't want to study, so I didn't study, and I just ended up doing that. But like, I would recommend you if you can balance these things. It is best that you complete your college, like work with your professors, do research, internships, and also work in the industry. Like try as many things as possible. Like while like also like solidifying your fundamentals. Then you can specialize in whatever you want, like at any given point.